What's up, guys? On today's episode, we are talking about Vendoo.
We had an awesome conversation with them last week at the Reseller Summit. If you were there, hopefully you already got to listen or watch it. And we just wanted to share with you guys, they were part of the event and they have a really cool tool. So if you're, not using a cross-posting tool or you're currently using one, just check out some of the stuff. Like if you're watching the video, there's some behind the scenes you can actually look. If you're listening to this on the podcast, maybe you can go to the YouTube channel and watch the video. But they just have so many amazing pieces to their tool that could help features that could help your business.
Absolutely. And it's not just a cross posting. They have places where you can actually keep track of your inventory, keep track of how much you're paying for stuff, how much it sells, all that kind of stuff. It's built into their software. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Hopefully you enjoy this and get a lot out of it, because I know we did.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Awesome. We can hear you. So we're happy to have you tell us some more about Vendoo.
Okay, cool. So first and foremost, I'm always inspired by you guys' energy. You're so high energy and enthusiastic about reselling. So it's really exciting. And thanks again for the opportunity to get in front of your sellers here. So I know Rob and Melissa have put together a really great event for you guys. So I hope you're learning a lot and absorbing a lot of this information, because they're doing something great for the community. So a little bit about Vendoo. We are a software that makes it easy to manage a reselling business across multiple marketplaces. So a little bit about myself. I was a full-time reseller for almost 15 years. I started off with a brick and mortar sneaker store in the Maryland area, and I ran that for a few years. And around 2009, I would say, the economy started getting a little bad. There was a recession there. And I wanted to start selling items online just to kind of increase the visibility for my products and to not have to be sitting in a store where the sales were kind of declining. So I started this journey like all the rest of us, of selling on different marketplaces. And after a few years, I realized that I kind of hit a ceiling that we all hit, where there's just not enough hours in the day to do all of the different things that it takes to run a reselling business. You have to source inventory. You have to be a photographer and take your photos. You have to make listings. You have to be an accountant. You have to stay on top of all your numbers. You have to do shipping, customer service, all these different things. And as we started to think about the reseller experience more, we wanted to figure out how we can build a software to condense and solve so many of these pain points in one product. So that was our goal with Vendoo. We started working on the idea in 2017, me and our 3 other co-founders. And we basically tried to start building an end-to-end solution to solve so many of those manual and tedious processes throughout the day that a reseller has to do. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to show you a little bit about how our product looks. I'm going to walk you through the importance of each of the features. But I'll start first and foremost with our inventory management and talk a little bit about why that's important for a seller. So let me share my screen. All right, let me know if you guys can see my screen. I'm off the page, so. Okay, cool. So when you log into Vendoo, you're brought here and you start on our inventory page. So we like this to be the home page for the software, because it's very important to be able to compile, sort, navigate, filter all of the items that you're trying to manage in one place. So we know that as a seller, it's great to have a presence on a marketplace like Poshmark or eBay or any of these platforms. But we also know the power and visibility that's created by having these items available for sale on as many of these platforms as possible. Just because a buyer that is looking for these pants, for example, might be on Mercari, for instance, and not on eBay. So it would benefit me to make sure that these items are on Mercari, on eBay, and on as many other places as possible, so that I can cast the widest net to try to make a sale. So here on our inventory page, what we have is a few different things. We have some columns here that allow you to check your items and filter them by drafts, actives, and solds. So the drafts are all of the items that I've created. I've just taken the photos for these, but I haven't started getting any information in for them. But I just want to stay organized and know what items I have coming up in the pipeline that I need to get out to different marketplaces, so I can look at all my drafts here. My active items are the ones that are currently posted. And as I scroll through them, you can see under each item, there's an icon that shows you where that item is listed currently. And you can actually click on any of these icons and it'll take you directly to that listing. And then on our sold items tab here, you can see all the items you have that have sold. You can see how much they sold for, the marketplace they sold on, the date, etc., so that you can keep all of that information organized in one place. So a cool thing about the inventory page is we have a variety of ways to navigate this information. So we can search by SKU number, for example. We can search by title. Let's say I only want to see my items that are Nike. I can search here by Nike and it'll narrow the list down for me. Let's say I only want to search by items that are listed on Mercari. It'll filter it down to just the items that I have that are on Mercari. So there's a lot of different ways you can sort and filter and manipulate your inventory so that you're not sourcing through hundreds or thousands of items manually to look for the item that you need to access. Also, we have a variety of other ways that you can sort and filter the inventory, and I'll get into those in a second. But this is our main homepage where you can kind of see what you have and where it's listed so that you can get a better overview of all of your inventory at once. So you can even access this page in a grid view if you like this view better, if it's a little easier to navigate, or you can do it here in rows. And then some of the filters that are really popular, we have the date created newest. So if you want to see the things that you just created, you can filter your page that way. If you want to see the date created oldest, date modified newest, which is an item that you might have changed the price or changed the description. Any item that you've changed most recently, you can sort in that way. You can sort by recently listed, stale list, alphabetical order, by price, or by SKU number. So these are easy ways to manipulate your inventory. So the next part of our business that we really feel is important is the actual listing. So when you're listing an item to these marketplaces, we know that doing that manually is extremely tedious because all of the different platforms ask for a majority of the same information. So the way we did it was we condensed all of those listing forms down into one master form that we call our Vendoo form. And you'll see that here at step 1. So our Vendoo form contains the photos. So you would upload your photos here. You would input your title, description, and these general pieces of information that all the marketplaces require. So that's your brand, condition, color, SKU, zip code. You can add tags if you need to. Quantity, which is a new feature that we have, multi-quantity. Your category, like the weight of your package, dimensions, pricing. All of this information we know is required by all the marketplaces. So what happens is you fill this in once, and when you get to the bottom of this form, you save it. And that information is going to carry down to all 10 of these marketplace forms. So you don't have to fill that in again on any of these forms. This is the list here of the marketplaces that we currently have integrations with. So as you can see, we have eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari, Grailed, Tradesy, Depop, Facebook Marketplace, and Shopify. We have a little note here next to Tradesy because, as you guys may know, Tradesy was just acquired by Vestiaire, so that integration will be changing in the future from Tradesy to Vestiaire. So that's just a little note here to remind our sellers. So these are the marketplaces that you can choose from. So let's say you fill out the Vendoo general details form. Once you save it, you'll come over here to Poshmark, for example. And there might only be 1 or 2 fields on Poshmark that are required in order to get that listing out to Poshmark. So you'll fill in those 1 or 2, and then you'll click list to Poshmark. Vendoo will always notify you if there's a field missing or something that you need to complete before listing by having these little icons here to remind you what's missing from your form. So the most important thing about this listing form is that we're condensing and saving a lot of time by hacking those general details, by making sure you only have to fill those in once. So that helps you avoid all of the manual, tedious copy and pasting and different things that you would have to do to put it on each marketplace one by one. Let's say you want to use items that you already have listed on other marketplaces. So if you join Vendoo and you've been selling on Depop for some time, you can easily import your existing listings. So we can choose a marketplace here. And let's say we want to import from Depop. Vendoo is going to then, I hope you guys can see this pop up. I'm sorry. Vendoo is then going to pull up a screen that shows all of the items that I have listed on Depop. And I can select these and import them, and they'll be added directly to my Vendoo inventory with the full listings already created. So the photos will come in, the descriptions, titles, All the fields that you filled in on Depop will already come in, so you can just use those items to start listing and push them out to the new marketplaces quickly. So importing your items is also another way to use the software. You don't necessarily have to create your listings in our software. The third way to create an item with Vendoo is by using a template. So on this form, let's say, for example, you're a seller who likes to sell a lot of similar type of items. Let's say you run a business where you sell all t-shirts. You can fill out these general details here on this form, and you can have the fields filled out already for your t-shirt listing. So maybe in your description, you like to include spaces for the measurements. You like to have, the weight for your t-shirts is pretty similar. So you'll have the package weight and the dimensions already filled in. You might have some tags here that are related to your t-shirts. And then as you save that, you can start all your future t-shirt listings with that template where half of the listings are already completed for you, which will help you to list those items in a lot shorter period of time than creating them from scratch every single time. So I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like when I get to our Vendoo settings. So another cool feature that we have that we consider part of our listing process is our delisting and relisting. So with Vendoo, or just reselling in general, you might list an item to a marketplace. Let's say you have an item on Poshmark and it's been up there for 3 weeks and it's not getting much activity. People aren't really making offers, or you're not getting much interaction with that item. It's just sitting stale on the platform. We have a feature here where you can see it says multi-delist and relist. So you can select any of the items that you want to delist and relist from any of the marketplaces that we have offered. You can select them. And what this feature does when you delist and relist an item, so you can choose the marketplaces that you would like to delist and relist from. And what this feature does is it takes your listing completely off of that marketplace and then puts it back up on the marketplace as a brand new fresh listing, which is very important because it generates a lot of visibility for that item by promoting it in the recently added or just in or whatever section that the marketplaces have to highlight the items that were just added to their platform. So that's going to bring a lot of new eyes to your item that it wasn't getting when it was just sitting stale on that closet. And you can do that often to refresh your inventory, because we know that a lot of marketplaces will benefit your listings and they'll start to promote your listings and show them to more people if you list consistently on their platform daily. So if you don't have new items to list every day, delisting and relisting old items is a great way to trigger those marketplace algorithms into thinking that you're listing fresh items. So that's a really cool feature that we have. It's very valuable and it drives a lot of sales for our users. I believe there's some people in the chat that can verify this, how effective the delist and relist feature is for them. So also in your Vendoo account, we have some data and analytics where we go over different numbers that are very important to understand when you're running a reselling business. So obviously, when you're running a business on one platform, it's difficult to keep track of your numbers, keep track of your sales, your cost of goods, all of those different things that a seller has to do in order to do effective accounting. When you're selling on 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 platforms, it becomes even more complicated because you have to track those same numbers across multiple marketplaces. So we do that for you here on our analytics section by showing you a breakdown of charts and graphs so that you can see in a comparative manner how your items are performing on each platform. So you can see here for the month of June, and you can also filter this by date, by the last 7 days. You can kind of filter this time period to see any specific time period that you would like to examine from your sales. So I just chose the month of June here for an example. So a quick summary told me that in the month of June, I sold 41 items, which is up 86% from the month of May in that same time period. I listed 60 new items in June. And you can see the listing activity that I had for that month. I had a really active month in June, so all of these numbers are trending upward from the previous month. You also can see here, there's charts that show my revenue versus my profit and the days that I made those sales. So the total revenue for the month was here. The total profit for the month was here. We calculate these numbers because on our listing form, we ask you your cost of goods when you're listing an item. So we know when something sells what the cost of goods was. We also know what the marketplace fees were, and we ask you also to insert your shipping costs so that we can give you an accurate reflection of your profit and not just the total amount of the sale. We want to make sure that these numbers here are accurate. So we take those other calculations into account. So now we have a chart and graph that shows you your marketplace revenue and profit, and it shows you a breakdown across all the different marketplaces that you might have made sales on. So you can see where those sales are coming from and where the majority of your business is being generated from. So that once again, we have a graph for revenue and a graph for profit, and you can see it correlates to these different marketplaces here. We also tell the sellers their top selling categories, top selling subcategories, and top selling brands. So as we can see here, my top selling category is clothing, shoes, accessories. That's all I sell. So that's always going to be my top selling category. But the subcategories are interesting because that information is helpful for me. I can take this and say, wow, t-shirts did great for me last month. That was my top selling subcategory. So when I go out to source again this weekend, I want to make sure I get as many t-shirts as possible to continue this great sales activity that I've been having around t-shirts. We have the same thing here for brands that were doing well for me, Nike, Lululemon, etc. And then you can also see the average sale price per marketplace. I can see that my eBay sales have been a lot higher, so my higher price items are selling there. And my lower price items tend to sell on Poshmark and other marketplaces like that. This is information that helps you determine where you would like to list certain things. And then we also have number of sold items by marketplace. So this is great information that you can use to just get a visual perspective of how your business is performing. So the last thing I want to go over is some of the options that we have here in our Vendoo settings. So in your Vendoo settings and account preferences, I mentioned earlier that we have the delist relist feature to remind you to list items or to delist and relist items once they become stale. You can determine here on our software what you consider a stale item, and we can notify you after that amount of time. So let's say your item's been sitting for 15 days. You'll see a little yellow tag like this on the side of your item in the inventory page that'll let you know that item has been listed for longer than 15 days, and it might be time for you to delist and relist and refresh that listing. You can also filter, you can set that notification to be any of these other time periods as well. And what that looks like, I'll go back to my inventory page really quickly so that you can see what this tag looks like. Here on this item, you'll see that it tells me this item was last listed 34 days ago on Mercari, on Poshmark, and on Depop. So that lets me know this little yellow tag is notifying me that this item is due to be delisted and relisted. So another cool feature that we have is the ability to create labels and assign labels to the items in your inventory. This is just another way to stay organized. Let's say, for example, you do consignment and you're selling a bunch of items for John. You can assign a label called John, and you can put that label on all of the different items that are John's items in your inventory so that you can filter and sort through those items by just typing in John in the search bar. You also can say, let's say you want to track your items based on where you source them. So you can have a tag or label that says Goodwill, or a label that says yard sale, or a label that says wholesale. And that way you can use these tags and labels as well on the data and analytics page that I showed you to filter also by those tags. So let's say you want to only filter your data and analytics by items that you sourced at the bins to see how those are performing for you. You can easily use these labels to manipulate your analytics that way as well. And then for templates, I went over that a little bit when we were talking about listing, but you can create templates for different types of items, and you can start listing that item with these templates by clicking here. So these are just some features that we have. I also want to talk quickly about our pricing. So let me know if you can see this new pricing page. But for Vendoo, we do our pricing in a tier-based model. So there's a few different tiers, and we wanted to do that because we know that resellers have a lot of different size businesses. There's people that are hobby sellers. There's people that are part-time, full-time, wholesale, enterprise. There's a lot of different size reseller businesses, and we wanted to make sure that we had a plan that comfortably fits the amount of items that you typically list and source per month in your business. So as you can see, our lowest tier is $8.99 per month. And with that tier, you can add 25 new items to your Vendoo inventory every month. And we have a few different plans in between, all the way up to 4,000 items per month for $149. If you're just a casual seller and you only sell a few items here and there, we do have a free plan where you can list 5 items every month to as many marketplaces as you want. You can also use any of our add-on features, which I'll go over in a moment. And there's no time period for being in that free plan. You can be in that plan as long as you want. So another cool thing about our pricing model is that you can upgrade to a higher plan, you can downgrade to a lower plan, or you can cancel your subscription and go back into the free plan at any time. We know that one month you might sell 500 items or list 500 items, and the next month you might only have 200. So you might want to change your plan to reflect that. And you can easily navigate between those plans with no penalty. So we have some add-ons here that are other features that I mentioned earlier. So the importing feature is an additional $4.99 per month, and that allows you to bring in your existing inventory from any of our connected marketplaces into your Vendoo inventory so that you don't have to recreate those. We also have the bulk delist and relist, which I went over, where you can delist and relist up to 10 items at a time to as many marketplaces as you'd like. We also have all marketplaces. So if you would like to list to more than 3 platforms per item, you can use that add-on as well. Or we have a bundle where for $11.99, you can add all 3 of these add-ons to your plan at once. We are also testing out some unlimited plans as well for sellers that feel like they would benefit from an unlimited plan. And we have yearly pricing options also that we're testing. So if you're interested in either of those, you can always send a question to our customer service team and they can help you get set up in one of those plans as well. So I know I covered a lot of information. I wanted to keep it fairly high level and not go into too many details, but I would love to see some of the questions you guys have in the chat and get those answered for you guys. So I'll stop sharing my screen.
All right.
Melissa, how was that?
That was awesome. I love it. I love it. You guys have thought of everything and going through all that stuff. I'm very impressed. I love it.
I love how clean it looks. Like it's very
user-friendly.
Like, yeah, clean and user-friendly. And it just makes you want to go in there and look at everything because it's so pretty.
Yeah, I know myself.
Organized.
I'm not a tech guy. That you've made it to click on those and be able to have those options at your fingertips. I absolutely love it. Analytics is, I absolutely love being able to see all those analytics. That is amazing for somebody growing a business. Totally amazing. I love it.
And so the team is doing really good at answering questions, but I'd like maybe we can elaborate on some of these too, because I think
if you see any that stand out, you can just read them off to me and I'll answer them for you.
The templates, are they limited? Like the number of templates that you have, are they per?
So you can create up to 100 templates in your Vendoo inventory account. So that's basically unlimited. I'm not sure if there's even 100 different types of templates you need to create. But if for any reason you would need more than that, we could customize that for you to create more. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention that's really important is we do have a mobile app. So our original software is a web app that runs on a Google Chrome extension. So a lot of our users in the chat know that they have to download that Chrome extension to their browser to use the Vendoo software. But we have a mobile app that we launched earlier this year. And on that mobile app, we have the majority of the features that we have on the web app. It's still in beta, so it's a work in progress. But I believe we have 6 marketplaces at the moment. And you can do just about all of the features that you can do on the web app. And you can download our mobile app directly from your iOS app store or your Android app store.
Awesome.
Somebody asked if there's a replay because they came in late, but yes, we will. Once we get off here, you'll be able to watch the replay again and you can see all the different features.
Yep.
And we'll be sending it out again tomorrow. So
somebody did ask about when your item sells, do they have to populate it in Vendoo or do they have to show Vendoo which platform sold, or does it do it automatically?
So currently the way that it's set up, when an item sells, you would have to come into Vendoo and just click the Mark as Sold button. So that Mark as Sold button is going to allow us to fill in a couple details. We're going to ask you for the sale price. We're going to ask you for the shipping costs and the marketplace fees. For a lot of the marketplaces, we calculate the fees automatically, so that might already be filled in. But as soon as you fill in those details, it'll automatically remove that listing from all of the other places that it's currently listed just with one click. We are building a way in the future to be able to do that in an automated fashion so that when something sells, Vendoo knows automatically and we'll take that down for you before you have to come into the software and do anything. But at the moment, you just do have to come in, tell us that it's sold, and it'll be removed.
And you can do that on the the computer. Can you do that on the app too?
So we just rolled out the ability to do that on the app. It might not be live yet. It might be live in the next day or so, but on the app, you'll be able to go in on the go, open your phone and mark an item as sold and remove that from the marketplaces directly from your mobile device.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a game changer. I like that you guys are always like trying to add more and listening to people and what they need and trying to always add more, make better.
And the cool thing is you're a reseller. This is not theory of what you think is good. You know this from being a reseller. This is the best app ever built by somebody who's reselling and doing this stuff. So I think that shows a lot towards your passion for reselling. The app definitely follows that. So that's so exciting.
For sure. And it's not just from our perspective. Our company is built on feedback from the reseller community. So the first 2 years almost of creating this idea, we went around to every reseller convention. We attended conferences just like this one. We went to meetups and posh and sips all over the country and just asked questions to sellers to really understand their daily pain points, what their experience is like on a daily basis, where they feel like they spend the most unnecessary time, just really understanding what those problems are so that we can find ways to creatively incorporate solutions into the software.
I love it.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. And then I'll ask you.
I wanted to just mention a couple of resources that we have as well. So we are a software company and we do provide resellers with these features to streamline their business and make things easier. But we also create a ton of educational content for sellers, just free information that we give out weekly, both high level and entry level. Anything about your reselling business, from how to create a strong listing on Depop to how to SEO optimize your titles for better results, just all kinds of instructional content. So we have a blog on our website. Vendoo.co is our website. On our blog, we release new blog articles every week. Those are free for you guys to go check out. We also have a YouTube channel, Vendoo, a seller's best friend YouTube channel, where we put up both tutorial videos about our software, but also just a lot of reseller information every week. And we put out a few videos weekly. And then we have a strong Facebook group called Vendoo, a seller's best friend, where there's a lot of Vendoo users in that group talking about the software. We give product updates in that group. We talk about things happening in the community. We run contests and giveaways. So those are some great resources to tap into. We're also on Instagram, which is the platform that we're the most active on. So if they go to Instagram, which is vendoo.co, there's a link in our bio where they can access all of these different resources that I just mentioned. But that's the best way to find us, is either on our website, vendoo.co, or on Instagram at vendoo.co.
I love it.
Just taking a picture for Instagram.
I'm going to do a quick question. So Josh hasn't said it yet, but if you're following along in the chat, how can you get 40% off of your first month with Vendoo? You got a $100 Amazon gift card right here. The first one to put it in the chat, that's what you guys get. Real quick. I want to do this real quick before.
I have a couple questions.
I know,
okay.
but I wanted to do this while everybody's, just so we know, everybody knows how you get your first month for 40% off.
All right.
See the first one to jump in.
It's delayed. We have a little bit of a delay.
Because we're on StreamYard, I know. But we'll see in a second.
Okay.
So I see someone here while we're waiting for that to pop up. I see someone that said it's Vendoo in Canada. So Vendoo works in Canada, but it's not optimized yet to work outside of the US, but we have a lot of users in Canada that use the software. We know that a lot of the marketplaces hold separate domains for their Canadian, like ebay.ca or poshmark.ca. But if you're in Canada, the software will still work with ebay.com and poshmark.com. So you can still use Vendoo in Canada. We have users in the UK as well. So feel free to try it and see if it works for you.
Michelle got it. Michelle was the first one.
Awesome,
Use
Michelle.
the code Summit 2022 when signing up.
I guarantee you can tell from Josh right now, guys, he's doing everything that he can. They're constantly updating and getting this software better and better. So yeah, it's only a matter of time before everything's up and running like that. So excited to see that.
And
for
more
sure.
adding to the mobile app, which is cool.
For sure. Okay, we had a couple more questions. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there. So it was Michelle. Got a $100 Amazon gift card. Awesome.
Michelle Kingor, she was the first one.
Way to pay attention. I love it.
There's a couple because it was only in the comments. So it was a Reseller 2022 at the link that they put in the.
That's it for 40% off your first month.
Well, they get a free trial and then 40% off the first month. Right? Yeah. All right. Let me see where I can find. Okay, I had this question too. So eBay's my main platform. I tend to list new items on eBay, then import them because eBay has the most details to fill in. If I start listing on Vendoo, can I eliminate the $4.99 from my invoice after everything's imported?
So yeah, a lot of sellers typically do the import for the first month. They'll have that feature for the first month just to help them get all of their existing inventory brought over. Once all of their items are in their Vendoo inventory, you can remove that add-on from your plan. Like just once you're finished importing everything, remove that add-on and then create items in Vendoo moving forward. We also have some sellers that like to keep that add-on because they do feel more comfortable, for example, listing on eBay. They feel like they've been selling on eBay for so long that they can navigate that form quickly. So they like to start there, import, and then cross-post. So you can do it either way.
Okay, because yeah, if once you get
Real quick question, just thinking about that, I just listed an item a little while ago on eBay. So the videos, so eBay's allowing you to do with their new listing form, videos in there as well. How does that play into your guys' software? Will it pull videos or what does it do?
That's a feature that we're building now because Poshmark also allows video and listings, and other marketplaces are starting to do that. So we're building that capability so that our sellers can upload their videos directly to Vendoo the same way they do with their photos.
I love it. Awesome.
Is there a way to put items on vacation mode from Vendoo?
Oh, good question.
So unfortunately, vacation mode still has to be done on the marketplace, but that's a great feature suggestion. I think we can look into figuring out how to build that. That'd be really cool to put all of your stores on vacation mode with one button. I would love to have that just for myself.
Something that I thought was kind of cool, well, really cool, is once you have all this stuff organized, like you really don't need another bookkeeping software because you have it all there. So like I know
Exactly.
GoDaddy went out for resellers this past year, so they were so there really wouldn't be another one that you would need, right? Like that,
Right.
you have all that stuff.
A lot of sellers start off by using either pen and paper or some type of spreadsheet that they update manually, right? So the cool thing about Vendoo is as you're listing, you're actually creating a spreadsheet at the same time. So there's some fields that we have in our listing form, like we have your cost of goods. We know the date that you input that item into our system. And there's some different things there so that any item in our Vendoo inventory, you can easily click. We have a CSV download button that downloads your entire Vendoo inventory into a little file that goes to your desktop, and you can drag that into Excel, you can drag that into Google Sheets, and it creates the spreadsheet for you based on all the information that you've already created in your Vendoo listing.
I love it.
So that kind of bypasses the separate bookkeeping system that you would need and some of that behind the scenes inventory organization time.
Yeah, that's sometimes the hardest thing for people, I think.
It really
and it's
is.
hard for us too. Like you're excited about the find, you're excited about the sale,
Yeah.
and then all the other stuff's just not as exciting for most people unless you're, an analytics person.
Yeah.
But the numbers are what help you grow your business if
Absolutely.
you can know your numbers. There you go. Yes.
That's for you guys last year. I love it.
Awesome. Can you print out the sold page that has all the details of the sales?
You can. So all the details on the CSV download that I just mentioned, you can choose the columns that you want to appear in that spreadsheet. So let's say you only want to filter by sold items. You can definitely download the sold items to a CSV file, put that into Excel or Google Sheets, and then make a printout of that, which is going to give you a whole printout of all of your sales. You can run that by month. You can run that for the year, which would be easy to just give to your accountant or whoever's helping you with your taxes, because your cost of goods will be in there. Your marketplace fees will be in there. Everything will already be included in that printout, and that's an easy way to kind of stay on top of your numbers.
Awesome.
I love it.
Are you able to create a temporary, like across the board sale for inventory, like a Christmas sale?
So we don't have that ability at the moment, no. We do, however, if you're a seller that's like enterprise level, you'll say you're working with 10,000 items per month or something like that. There's ways that we can do that for you, where we can do bulk actions for a large number of items, but you would have to contact us in order for us to set that up for you.
Okay. Sorry, there's lots of, I'm just trying to make sure we get them all. Did you say that you can list on 3 markets without having the multiple marketplace fee, or what is the limit on that?
Yes. So if you don't have the all marketplaces add-on, you can list your item to any 3 marketplaces of your choice.
Okay.
And then if you have the all marketplaces add-on, you can list to up to all 10.
Okay.
Some people say that, I only list on 3 platforms, so I don't need that add-on. Some people list on more than that, so it's helpful for some people.
Okay. Do you support multi-quantity listings? Oh.
So Multi-quantity is the newest feature that we're currently in the process of launching. You guys are kind of getting a sneak peek. We haven't put that out yet, but when I was sharing my screen, I think you could see that we do have a quantity field now. So we do support multi-quantity on all the marketplaces that support it. So you should be seeing that in their account within the next few days.
Sweet. That's awesome. I know that was a big one. A lot of people who sell, that's a big one, who sell the smaller, high volume and stuff. Yeah. What are the 10 platforms you support?
So we have eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari, Grailed, Depop, Tradesy, Kitizen, Facebook Marketplace, and Shopify.
I was intrigued by the Shopify because, like, I've thought we've toyed around with the idea of listing some stuff on Shopify just to see, like, if we could get it out there and promote it, other than using like eBay and doing all the fees. So we were toying around with it. That would be kind of cool to
do it for sure. That's awesome.
I think a lot of sellers are interested in Shopify and creating their own personal online store, but there's just like that barrier of entry there, just because it's a lot different than a lot of the other marketplaces. So because of that, Vendoo has a partnership with Shopify. That's an active partnership. If you go to shopify.com/Vendoo, I'm sure one of my team members will put that in the chat, and enter your email address. Someone from the Shopify team will reach out to you. They'll take you under their wing in about a 6-week program and help you build your store, help you get all of your inventory populated, and they'll walk you through all of those steps to creating an online store for the first time. And with that program, I believe Shopify users typically get about 14 days free. With our program, you get 60 days free. And there's also some other benefits that come along with that. So if anybody is interested in setting up a Shopify store, using that Vendoo program would be a great way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
And Shopify charges, I looked at it a while ago, it charges, like, you pay monthly, but it's depending on how many listings you have, right? Like that's
depending on how many listings you have. I think the different tiers allow you to a certain number of photos per listing. There's 3 different tiers, I believe, that they have.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, we definitely want to check that out.
Absolutely.
If you don't list or at least draft every item immediately after purchase, does Vendoo have an incomplete inventory?
Yeah, he should.
Draft. Okay.
When you're in a plan, let's say you're in the 25 item plan, you have that whole month to create 25 items in Vendoo. They don't have to be listed. You don't have to have them on the marketplaces yet. But even if you've created drafts for those items, for those 25 items, you're still getting your full use. After that month, like after an item has been created, we never count it against you again. So you can effectively store unlimited inventory in Vendoo. There's no limitations to how much inventory we can hold for you, but you're just allowed to upload a certain amount per month.
Okay.
Cool. Well, just to clarify, so like the drafts, if I go buy something, I get a picture of it and I stick it in a draft, that doesn't count towards your monthly thing until you go live with it, correct?
No, so the draft counts because you created a new item in your Vendoo inventory. So that draft counts.
It doesn't count against the next.
You can list it whenever you want. And then once an item's been created, you can list it, relist it. You can put it on as many platforms as you want. It'll never be counted against you again once it's been created.
So I create the draft, I list it, or I list it the next month. It's not counted for 2 items, and it's not counted for 10 items listing on all 10 platforms.
Once it's in there, it's in there.
Okay. It's counted as
But that's
item.
appealing because some people don't get stuff listed right away. Like you said, you get a picture of it, get it in there. You can put the price you paid for it, the date that you got it for your bookkeeping, which is awesome. And then you're charged for it right then. And then whenever you get it listed, it's in there one time and that's it. So I love that.
Yeah. We have a lot of sellers that just on the mobile app will create their drafts right in the thrift store or wherever they're sourcing. They know the items that they're buying. They might have 6 or 7 drafts created before they even get home. And that way, you know the items that need to be photographed. You kind of can start your workflow a lot earlier with the mobile app.
That would help me personally a ton.
It would motivate you.
It would help me a ton to know what I have and it's in the draft so I can get back and get it. But the biggest thing is the date that you bought it, how much you paid for it inside the draft.
A lot of times most of our stuff is cash based. Yeah. So you're like, oh, well, how much did I spend on that? Did you write it down?
Can you do that in the draft too? Can you take a picture?
Put the cost of goods in right in the draft. I even, the thing that's cool about the mobile app as well is I take all my photos on my phone. So I know a lot of times because the photos are already on your phone, it's difficult to send them over to your computer or send them somewhere else to upload them to the software. So I can just create the drafts with the photos directly from my phone camera roll and get all of my drafts created really quickly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't think last year you had the app rolled out yet. I think it was.
We did. Yeah, we rolled that out earlier this year. I believe like March or April is when we first started playing around with it.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
awesome.
game changer
That is.
because we do a lot of stuff. Yeah, from
With their phone.
yeah. Sherry said downloading the app now. Awesome.
love it.
Awesome. All right, there's like almost 200 comments. So I hope if I missed your question, pop it again in the bottom of or the new one because
Yeah.
I think I got
Josh's team's been pretty good too.
Yeah, they've been answering too, but I just want to
them
make sure.
as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Getting photos off my phone is far bigger struggle than it should be in 2022. I agree. Like everything's a mess. Like I was looking at all my digital files. I'm like, I'm a mess. How do you find anything? But if you do it right.
Yeah, because we covered so much stuff and there's still a lot of features that I didn't really get into the details for. We do have tutorial calls every week. We have one on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern and one on Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. In those calls, someone from our team, probably either Aaron or Ben, will walk you guys through all of the features on the website, show you how to use different things in a lot more detail than I showed today. You also have a chance to ask questions there as well. And then, like I said, we have that Facebook group that's just a constant conversation. So if any of the questions don't get answered today, feel free to pop into that Facebook group, ask it there, or ask us on Instagram or one of our social media platforms. We'll make sure to get that question answered for you.
Yeah.
Love it.
Marissa said cost of goods right in the draft. That's awesome. That could be a really
That's a big thing.
because I get on him all the time. I'm like, you just bought this stuff. You have to I cannot put it in our stuff unless you tell me and write it down.
A game changer for sure. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Make it that.
Make it a habit for sure. So
And that's is that for customer service? Is that the best way to reach out? Is your Facebook group or
well, for customer service on the actual software, there's a little help button in the corner. They'll see that in the bottom right corner. We have live chat customer service daytime hours from about 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Someone will be there to answer your question in a chat really quickly. And that's always 7 days a week we have that. And they'll answer both like if you run into an error or something or you don't understand something, they'll walk you through that. And they'll also answer those general questions for you as well. And if you are just on social media, you can send us a message on our direct message or something like that, and we'll get back to you really quickly there also.
Awesome.
Somebody
said the Facebook group is a great source of info. Awesome. Customer service is always so helpful with you guys. So got some people in here that are already in your group, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I know Liz was on here. I don't know if she's still on here. They use you guys freeway flippers. So that's awesome.
Cool.
I think we got all of these. Was there any other features that you wanted to talk about before we end? Because we can talk about a couple extra things if
I think I kind of covered the features for the most part, but I think if there's any other questions that we think are pressing or a lot of people are interested to know about, I can cover those as well.
Okay. Just
awesome.
Making sure that you want to do that one too?
Let's do the last one.
All right. Are you going to do this question?
No, he talked about that. We could, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He could. He went into more detail with that one. So yeah, last question for the $100 eBay gift card, guys. How many platforms is Vendoo currently supporting that you can cross post on? How many platforms? First one to throw it in the chat. You guys got the $100 eBay gift card. What do we got?
Oh, they're fast.
All right.
There we go.
Who was the first one? Okay. Kelly Morton was the first one. So awesome, guys. Gotta be fast.
I love it.
So
sweet.
All right. So both Kelly and
Michelle,
yes.
Please,
Email
Rob
us
at Flea Market Flipper. Rob at Flea Market Flipper. Reach out, give us your address so we can get these in the mail to you guys. Yeah, awesome. Josh, this was awesome. I love it. I love the presentation. I love all the stuff that you guys are doing over there. You really, really have the sellers in mind. You guys are listening to your customers.
It's super cool that you like how much you've added just since last year, that you're constantly adding that stuff and listening to people, because I think that is super important.
It is
to listen to your users, and
it is. They're not just sitting back. They're seeing what people want. They know what people want, and they're constantly, just like you heard through Josh's presentation, he's telling you other stuff that's in the back right now that's getting ready to roll out. They're constantly making this software better, and I absolutely love that about Vendoo for sure. So
definitely check them out. The link has been posted in the chat, and use Summit.
And don't overlook, Josh even said the Shopify. One of your team members put it in here. We're thinking about going into Shopify right now. We've been contemplating it for a while now, but he's got a deal because they're partnering with Shopify that you can get, what was it, 60 days, Josh?
60 days free. And during that time period, they'll help you get your account set up so you don't have to go through that whole process yourself. And they'll teach you a lot about the Shopify platform, because as a reseller that's on most of these marketplaces, you can kind of just upload your items and go about your business for the most part. For Shopify, because that's your own dedicated site, you're responsible for driving traffic there, for branding it in the way that you want to brand it. And those things are sometimes a little bit, they're barriers of entry for sellers who aren't used to thinking about that many different things. So this program is also going to educate you into how to best run that type of store, and also get you set up at the same time without having to pay anything for that first 60 days.
Awesome. So don't overlook that. That's an awesome thing that Josh is offering too for his partnership.
So now
with
you're gonna try
Shopify.
that, right?
Absolutely. We need to do it for sure.
We've been talking about it
a while
because
now.
they're like, okay, well, we know we're on eBay and they do
Especially-
well,
yeah.
but when things change, you might need to check out new platforms. So.
Absolutely. So we want to respect your time, Josh. Thank you so much for jumping on here, informing us of all the stuff that's going on, even behind the scenes. You've been very, very generous with letting us know what's rolling out and that kind of stuff. So thank you again for doing this. You guys, you know how to get in touch with Josh. He's got so much great places that you guys can see him on social media.
They're really quick to get back with you.
So you guys know that that's the case. So awesome. Josh, have a great night. Thank you so much.
Also, I was going to add too, that if you have questions too, they're in the group. So they're in the Facebook group. You can tag them in the Facebook group while we still have the summit open for the next couple of days.
And they'll get to you.
Yeah. And how long is the code good till?
So the code is good until the end of the year.
Okay.
I know if this content is up longer than that and people are still using it, we can extend that. But until December 31st, you can use that Summit 2022 code. You'll get 40% off your first month.
Okay.
So before I go, I just wanted to say thank you guys again for having me. Thanks for all of the great questions and interaction in the chat. At Vendoo, it's really important for us to be involved in the reseller community and attend things like this. We want to really hear from you guys, hear what you're concerned about, what things that we can do to make your lives and businesses easier and run better. So if you guys have any cool community events going on, if you have any content, anything that you guys want us to see, send it to us. We would love to see it. We would love to engage in that conversation with you guys and figure out how to support you however we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's not most companies. So,
No, absolutely not.
So very cool. We're so happy to have you, and I'm sure we're gonna have a lot more questions when people watch the replay.
Yep.
So we'll be sending this to everybody who wasn't able to make it on tonight.
Yep.
So
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks again, Josh. Everybody have a great night.
All right, take care.
See ya.
Bye.
If you're an online reseller, listen up. You're listing items online. You've got the tabs open, you're copy-pasting listing details, and it takes forever. Say goodbye to your old routine and let Vendoo improve the way you resell online. Vendoo helps you organize all aspects of your selling business in one place. List your item to 9 marketplaces or even more by filling out our simple form. More marketplaces means more sales. Already have items on marketplaces? No problem. Easily import them into Vendoo to cross-post. Have old items that have been listed forever? Delist and relist your items with one click. Turn these stale listings into fresh ones and watch the sales come in. And when those items sell, you can quickly remove them from other marketplaces. Managing your items has never been easier when all of your inventory is organized in one place. Track the status of your items and search and filter them seamlessly. Access your analytics and sales data in easily viewable charts and graphs and use it to make decisions that will help grow your business. We help you make more money and save time for the more important things in life. Step into the future of reselling with Vendoo, a seller's best friend.